All right, hell yeah, welcome back. So now we got Bud's Boner. You know what I mean? Bud's Boner Rapid. It's the rapid before insignificant. And kind of what we're looking at here is heck yeah, you got a big recovery pool before the corner for insignificant. So go have some fun. You know what I mean? Surf up Bud's Boner hole. And then hell yeah, this is slant rock. We covered that in our last video, and you have a lot of lead into slant rock. All right, let's get to it, because here is the view from slant rock to Bud's Boner. And yeah, after slant rock, shoot, you'll see some of these boulders on the side of the river. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, is that the square rock? Is that Bud's Boner? Well, no, it's going to be down here. This is the big square rock. Sometimes it's got logs on top of it. But there's another squarish rock right there in Bud's Boner, which you might think that's the big square rock everyone's talking about. But all right, there's Bud's Boner. And then here's kind of a closer look at Bud's Boner. And your entrance. It is good to have, if I had topos, I would have one that's like a little bit like out, because you get to see the entrance and the exit. Sometimes there's information, a little beta there. But yeah, when people enter Bud's Boner, they're going to enter on the left side right here. I mean, center of the river, but see this rock right here? Everyone enters kind of just down this left side and then works their way. It just allows you to, the river's basically slanted this direction. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like that's the way you're going to go. But just to let you know, you know what I mean? You're not just all the way over. It's nice to know what that looks like. Anyway. Enough said. Here's Bud Boner hole, and then heck yeah. Now we're just gonna zoom in. So here's this rock. This is your entrance rock. You know what I mean? You probably won't even notice it, but you'll be on the left side of it. Sets you up. All right. So there's Bud's Boner hole. So there's a great YouTube. The actual guy himself, Bud himself, talks about how he gets his kayak pinned, vertically pinned. Looked very phallic. And kind of tells the story. But anyway, and I guess it's maybe he got his boat stuck right on this rock. Who knows? But anyway, but that's the hole and the rock that he gets his name named after. All right, this is the rock with the logs on top, and that's going to be confused with this one. But maybe that's a good thing, because hell yeah, look at this. They're both big square rocks, so you can just think, hell yeah, Bud's Boner, you got two big square rocks, kind of marks your entrance. This one though. Hell yeah, all the current just goes right into it, and that's undercut. You know what I mean? So that's going to be your biggest hazard. So here you go, the right channel entrance. Yeah, this is kind of the right side of the river, right side of the rapid. Do not go down this left side. There is a technical line down this left side, and it finishes in between these two boulders right here. Do not go down over here. And we can take a look at that. We got some footage. But anyway, people drop basically right in the center. And we'll talk about why you'd want to drop this right in the center. And maybe a couple variants, a couple options. But hell yeah, right there. You got rocks that block the left side of this chute. They're just a couple. And, we got Google Earth too. So we can actually maybe see some of these rocks. Well, that's not a very good view. Yeah. Well, so here's the drop, and then here's a rock right there. So I'm kind of circling it. And so when you drop the V right here, you drop this little chute. If it's a little bit under fall flow, which if the Meadow River's high, they definitely drop the upper part of the Golly. So out of Somerville Dam, it'll be a little bit lower until you actually meet the meadow, because whatever the meadow, if the meadow's running a little higher because of rain, then you'll actually have, so we'll look at a kind of a lower water footage. Not super low, but it's enough where these rocks kind of get in the way. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. And let's go back to our slides. And, all right, so then once you drop this in the center, usually people just back it up. You know what I mean? Hey, let's back it up, point at this rock. And the reason why you drop this V drop right in the center is, and keep it centered, is because you don't want anyone to fall out. So honestly, I would do this. I would just... All right, we're just going to punch this wave nice and centered, and then you're just going to back it up. Because no one's going to fall out if you punch this V wave nice and centered. But I was taking a look. There's one footage that we'll go over of someone kind of making a right to left move. But still, these boulders get in the way on this left side. But they do it just right. But it's a little bit wonky. because they're kind of putting the right side of their boat up against this V wave, and someone could fall out. So the name of the game is, how do you get through this V wave if you're doing a commercial raft trip, or if you're doing like a raft trip with more than like 4 or 5 people, you know what I mean? Keep everyone in the boat on this V wave and then just back it up. That's the classic. That's what I recommend. Or in a small boat, kayaks, R1s, R2s, I might just drive right, but you do have this eddy over here. So yeah, and this wave is a V, so you have the left side of it. But like I said, you can't just slam up again, and it's a drop too. So you drop into a V wave, but you can't just slam up against the left side because you have these guard rocks. You know what I mean? So you can't just get right to left momentum, hit the left side of this V. You'll run into these guard rocks, and then you're going to have a show. You really have to just kind of run this one, just drop the V straight, and then back it up. And there's a couple variants. But hell yeah. Or just catch the eddy in small boats, kayaks. All right, what next? Heck yeah, small boats, catch that eddy. And then ferry to the left, ferry across this current, avoid this undercut. This is pretty serious. It's just a big house-sized square boulder with maybe some logs on top of it, but you go right under it. All the water just goes right under. And, let's say crap does hit the fan. Let's say crap really does hit the fan. This is the classic. There's not a lot of current or speed. So you know what I mean? The safe thing here is actually, after hearing some other guides talking giving their guide talk for this, they're like, yeah, we're going to drop this little channel, and then if you fall out, got to swim left. But then they just keep talking. Where, hey, we're hitting Bud's boner. If you do fall out, hell yeah, swim left. That's the only thing you need to know. So in your brain right now, swim the hell to the left. What are you swimming left of? Well, if you fall in, just start swimming left. Who cares? And then if you actually are going up against a boulder, well, yeah, this is interesting because it depends. Because if you got some gung-ho people, someone just like pops out and then they start swimming way far left, well, they might just run into this thing. And this is undercut too. This will probably be, and anything over here is real nasty, actually. So, but anyway, yeah, that's for another story of like how do you actually give good instructions on how to swim. But just the education. If you fall out, and looks like you're going to go up against that, well, swim away from it, obviously. But also, definitely, this is one where you could, like, push off with your feet, maybe. Well, don't even get yourself into that. Treat all these strainers, and I'm using the right word there, because treat all these undercuts like they were strainers. Just pretend this is just a log pile. See, that's the thing with the Upper Golly. Now we're kind of on a rant, but that's all right. We'll get some footage. Because, you know what I mean? You have a rock right here. Let's say you come from the east or the western rivers, and you just had a big old log pile. Well, you'd be terrified. You'd be like, this river's the scariest crap ever because there's a huge log pile right here. Well, just consider this undercut a log pile. You know what I mean? So that's the mindset. All right, let's get on with it. So yeah, you're gonna, and then this, I guess this is the right channel. So you have the whole right side of the river is Bud's boner. Stay away from the left side unless you're doing that technical middle. And then usually people just drive to the right. So this is a significant drop. I think someone said it's like a horseshoe. It is kind of like a 4-foot drop. And you do a big boof over here, but this is kind of a little 4-foot drop over this rock. So again, you're kind of shooting for the tongue of the ledge drop and then aiming to the right, catching that eddy. Because maybe you want to surf Bud's boner, or you just want to avoid this rock and pour over. Especially if the water's real high, this becomes a terminal hole. The Ace video talks about that. Just because there's no gradient. You know what I mean? This rock actually makes an eddy. Water does go over it. So it's kind of a fun little surf. It'll just fill your boat up. You know what I mean? You can just play around in it all day. Essentially, this surf wave is essentially just an eddy behind a rock. But you got water pouring over it. So that will fill your boat up. That'll get you to stick. But if it's higher flow, hell no. There's so little gradient back here. You will just be stuck in a very vicious ledge hole that you're not coming out of. And you might get body surfed. Okay, so yeah, but you can go left or right. So a lot of people, most everyone goes to the right, especially kayakers, because you can just eddy out, with your buddies and stuff like that. But if you go left, you do have this, you have a guard rock right here. So we'll look at that, because you just have this small little channel between buds and a guard rock. But if you do go left, it sets you up way easier to catch Bud's Boner. You just have all the current going on the right side of this Bud's Boner rock. But if you enter from the left, hell yeah, you can just catch it so easily. Just kind of catch it like an eddy, put a tube in there, get stuck. Or even if you just go over here, it's such placid water because this whole left side doesn't have much flow. That's easier to paddle back up in. And then the last footage that we're going to look at is a raft actually just eddied out over here. Like went far left and then just keep going, eddy out over here, and then just wait your turn and then go surf buds. All right, catch buds to surf. Yeah, easiest from the left. We did that. Yeah, Bud's Boner, huge eddy. It's just basically an eddy. And so you have a lot of time to actually catch it. You know, it's not like a hard one to catch. And then you can ferry in from this eddy. And then you have this alternate left channel entrance. So you're going to be the left side of this rock right here. There's kind of two little, there is a submerged boulder right here. So you're either running close, if it's a 14-foot raft, we'll see that, 14-foot raft just slides right in, or an R2 just kind of slides this way. But you do have a submerged boulder right there. And then you have to actually basically get behind this, you know what I mean? Because your drop is right there. So yes, you are going to the left side of this boulder pile, but just think I have to get behind the eddy of this boulder pile to actually drop this slot. And yeah, so you drop all right, so we're back. And so the 14-foot raft drops the slot right next, just really close to this rock. But there is kind of two little options. There is kind of the middle of this channel you can drop. But the left side, holy hell, just stay away from this. This is a very advanced kayaker slot. It's a little death slot for even a kayaker. You better not mess that up. There's like about 5 slots that are just like hella dangerous that kayakers like to do, and this is probably one of them. All right, yeah, it's just basically just a sieve, but kayakers like to run. It's like a meltdown sieve. It's like melting down into death boulders. All right, so here's this first V drop. You know what I mean? And so this is at a higher flow. The Ace video actually shows pretty higher flow. So here's your guard rocks. They're covered. Actually, at this flow, this kayaker just kind of drops in, catches the eddy, and then these guard rocks aren't a thing. But to a 14-foot raft, even at this normal flow, you might kind of smack these. You know what I mean? And it'll push you right back into the squarish boulders right there. So Bud Boners, this is your entrance. They're on the right channel, obviously. Drop in the center, hell yeah. And then yeah, you got those rocks that block that left side of that chute. Or you can just drive right. That's where that kayaker is in that eddy. Hell yeah. Catch that eddy, small boats. All right, so here's another look. And I think we need to look at the technical left entrance. Because you're gonna be over here, find your way over here. You're gonna drop right into here. You're gonna catch. So the sieve is right here. So see how you enter right here? You're just going right to the nastiest place in the river. And you actually really do have to work to catch the eddy behind this. And if you do, hell yeah, you got some placid water, eddy water. But now you can line up and then drop this channel. But I wouldn't go over here either. Name of the game is the Golly. You know, any of these shallow areas that just have rocks, I mean, it's just nasty. It's not a smooth river bottom. It's just kind of squarish rocks just thrown into the mix, and it feels like you're going through like a checkerboard gauntlet. So I would just stay away, even from the shallows over here. You know what I mean? So just always take the main flow. Yeah, don't get caught up into weird spots where you're just like, oh, I'm just going to try to take an alternate route. But here's your alternate route. Here's the kayaker's entrance. And we didn't look at that on the Google Earth. But right here, hell yeah, you have a kayaker's entrance, and it looks like, hell yeah, you just want to go all the way to the outside, but there is a big boulder pile here. So even this kayaker's entrance, you actually drop in, and I would see how all the flow goes right through here. I would drop in and then kind of drop this little thing right there. Kayakers do also do this little slot. We got video of that, and then it just works out. But don't sweep your boat all the way to the outside. There's a pile of boulders there. So this is fairly technical. even though it looks like it just goes real easy. But then you would just avoid, then you're already in this eddy, and then you're already making your move across this current, and you're avoiding this undercut. So there is some benefits up here to do that line. All right, so there's your Bud Boner's hole. This is your second drop. This is your first drop. That's your kayaker's line. So yeah, you got your top drop. This is your rock with the logs on it. This is your lower drop. All right, and then you catch catch the eddy right here. That's usually what people do. Drop this lower drop and then eddy in. All right. And then it sets you up to ferry out to catch buds. But it's a little faster current in here. It's a little harder to actually catch Bud's boner. And in rafts, you're already down there, and it's just a nightmare. Even in a raft, you might as well just go across the river and actually paddle up on this right side. We're going to see a boat over there too. Or this drop, you can also just drive left. But here's buds, and then here is a submerged boulder right here. So, you know what I mean? Most people drop buds, angle left, and then they're just looking to catch like just the left side of buds, just right in between here. But you do have a boulder right there that'll mess you up. You totally just get stuck on it in a 14-foot raft. All right, but it does allow you to surf Bud's boner from, I guess, surfers right. This should say left, the left side of the river. All right, Bud's boner. There's the hole, Bud Boner's hole. There's the top drop right there. Here's the rock with the logs on it. Here's your lower drop. Catch the eddy. Drive left. Catch buds easier. But see this whole rock is like a submerged shelf. You might go over it, but just know you got a submerged shelf right here. So if you do take this left, you're basically just like finishing right through here. You know what I mean? You're not driving super hard to, unless you just want to go over here. Yeah, I guess that's another option too. But most boats just trying to hit this seam right through there, just this little in between this submerged shelf and then Bud's boner hole. All right, and then here's your left entrance. There's your small little channel. Here's the sieve. Do not go over this one. But you do have a middle drop right there, or this left. These are two distinct chutes. I should say distinct. So this is your middle drop. The R2 does that, and then the 14-foot raft fits right through there. And then the kayak line is just this death meltdown right through there. It's gnarly. Okay, and then, yeah, technical move to the right. This is a dangerous sieve. Got it. Drop slot far to the right, just right up against there. But at least you know. You know what I mean? At least you know. All right, again, Bud Boner hole. This is the lower drop. And see, you even got some stuff to mess you up here, too. So if you're going to go right to left, you got to kind of delay and then charge across. Because, yeah, all this current feeds directly into Bud. So if you don't do anything, you're just going to run into Bud Boner's hole. So you got to catch that eddy or drive left. That's your alternate slot. Just stay away unless you, I don't know. It's just not worth it. That's a hella dangerous sieve. All right, sweet. So, yeah, so this is what you're going to be looking at from the entrance. So, yeah, you're going to be approaching. This is the squarish rock, but this is the one in the middle of the river. We are going to identify a little tooth, this little triangle rock. The big square rock's actually down here. That's why everyone confuses it with this one. Your square rock is this thing right there. There's your square rock. It's a little bit lower because it's below the drop, so it looks like it's not sticking up that high. But you do have a marker. It's this triangle. So your actual... everything from here to here, do not go over here. This triangle marker marks that you go to the right side of this triangle rock, and that's your V drop. That's your first drop. Your first drop's right here. Your kayaker line is right here, and then your V drop's right there. So yeah, that marks the... Yeah, so this triangle boulder marks the left side of this right channel. And then, yeah, that's the rock with the logs on top. So it's down there, you know what I mean? And so, again, this is the boulder you're going to see, and you're like, hell yeah, it's square. Isn't that Bud's boner boulder? And no, and this raft takes the technical left entrance. So they're actually going to go right through there and then get behind this. If you're going to take this technical left entrance, this boulder pile... you actually have to go down and then catch the eddy behind this, two system boulder pile. And again, let's take a look at that. Yeah, this whole thing, it's just a big, massive, like 1 and then 2, and you got to get behind it. So we're actually going to get back to fall flow. There you go. Yeah, you're going to drop this channel and get behind it. All right, so yeah, else there's a sieve right there. Just don't do that. That's crazy. And again, so here's the triangle rock. Here is that's the top drop. So from this view, yeah, this is the rock with the logs on top, and this is the first boulder. So just kind of different views. You're like, whoa, it looks different. And then here's another view. Okay, so here's the rock in the middle. This is the rock with the logs on top. Here is your triangle rock. See how this triangle rock actually, it looks like you should drop right there, but no, this triangle rock marks the left side of this chute. So you drop right here. Yeah, you basically, if you can okay, so this puts it together. If you can identify this rock with the logs on top, you know, at basically the bottom right there, bottom of the channel, is that essentially you have to drop it where you're just actually just facing directly towards this boulder, because then you actually have to back away from it to actually get away from that undercut. And it's kind of gnarly. This is why this is, I would say this would be a class 4 rapid. All right. All right, that's it. So now we're going to, you know, obviously after Buzz Boner, you got insignificant. Yeah, you have a huge, you know, if you're surfing, hell, swim to the shore. If anyone falls out, we'll pick you up. And then you got insignificant right around the corner. All right, so we are just going to get right into some footage. So the first thing we're going to look at, so here's the ace footage. And what we're going to do, I don't want to use their volume, but here is this rock at the top of Buzz Boner. So everyone enters just to the left side of this. This is kind of the center of the river. And then you're angling kind of this way. And this is the triangle rock right there. Okay, and then this footage is going to show you these kayakers. So we're just going to pause it. These kayakers are doing this left slot. Now, it looks just way easy just because they're going slow. But it is kind of a little it is technical at the top, you know what I mean? Don't mess up that top. Figure out how you want to get through, and we'll show you the kind of the couple ways to do that. But once you're over here, hell yeah, straightforward, and then you're already over here. So here is your V drop. This is where you can actually just you know, just eddy out right there. But everyone just hits this wave just nice and center. So even this R3, heck yeah, just hit it center, and then just, I think they're just going to angle their boat and then just paddle across the current. So perfect. Turn your boat, and you just got plenty of time. This is fall flow, and it's not very fast. Now, I mean, you don't want to go up against the face of that. See how that makes so much sense? That if you're going to hit this drop, don't do anything sideways or fancy. Just hit that drop, and this is substantial. This is like a 3-foot drop into a big fluffy wave that you got to get over. Hit that square. But yeah, you got two options. So see how they instantly turn and then just drive this way? The other thing that you could do is after you drop, most of the 14 foots, they crush it and then they turn the other way. They point that direction and then they back away. And then you get your back into this eddy right there, and then you got plenty of time. But the name of the game, just absolutely do not have people fall out right here. It'd be the dumbest place to have people fall out, and you know what I mean? Just, you know, because it could be tempting. It could be tempting to set up some right to left momentum above this drop, but then hit it kind of with some slight angle. Hell no. Someone's just going to fall out. So, I mean, because even I would do something like that, and I would definitely tell myself, hell no. Just do it like everyone else. Hit this wave square, get over it, and then turn your boat then, and then paddle away from it. But usually in a 14-foot boat, you paddle backwards. You turn your boat towards this, or you aim your boat kind of towards the right side of the river. Give yourself more angle, and then back paddle across this current. All right, so that's that video. And so here is this channel. This is crazy. So this is the slot. So this is what you're going to be doing if you're running the kayaker slot. You're going to be all the way against this outside. Now, what it looks really inviting is just, hell yeah, just go along this outside, just all the way down. You know what I mean? Oh, it looks inviting. Just go all the way to the outside. Well, why would you not do that? Well, because you have a big pile of boulders right here. And I think we're just going to see that in this video. So the other thing that you can do is go over here, but then immediately drop over this kind of shallow ledge. Or this is a cool line. You'll see, and then we'll watch it again. Or just go in between this boulder. Hell yeah, that's nice and tight. And now you're just a straight shot down this channel. Hell yeah. And so now here's the boulder with all the logs on top of it. And now you're in eddy water. I mean, you're just in class 1 over here, and now you can do whatever you need to do to cross the current. and it ain't no thing but a chicken wing. And we'll watch this one all the way through. I haven't actually watched this, and sorry for not turning it full screen. And then what kayakers do, hell yeah, drop and then eddy out and make sure everyone's all right. So really straightforward. We're going to watch this one all the way through, and sorry I didn't make it full screen. But we're going to pause it, because what we're going to see is if you did go over here, you want to drop like right here, and do not go all the way to the outside. Alright, it might not be the end of the world. I mean, you could go out over here, but then you really got to paddle back to avoid this little rock pile. And there's a tongue of water through here. So maybe it's not, maybe I'm making it too big of a deal. Like, you do whatever you want to do. But we're just going to go back, watch this kayak go through. But the other option is just like, hell yeah, you can just drop this like right here in a little kayak, so you just drop in right there. If I was in an R1 raft, yeah, I might just drop over this and kind of shimmy my way over this. Hopefully there's enough flow. But I know if I'm going to go all the way to the outside, hell yeah, I kind of need to get out here and then really work my way in just above this boulder pile. I wouldn't want to go into those rocks. Alright, hell yeah. And I guess, yeah, we're just going to watch this, because, yeah, you really get a view of how significant that undercut is. And again, let's say someone was swimming up against it. You know what I mean? You know, this is the scenario where, yeah, I would just, like, push off of it. You know what I mean? Like, really, if you swim away from it, but if you can't, hell yeah, get your feet on top of, get your feet up, and then actually kick off this thing, and then try to kick off the left side. You know, so that would be the beta. All right, so next video. Now, I think this is just going to be a classic run. So, what we're looking at is, it's kind of gray, but here's that entrance boulder at the top, and now we're identifying this triangle boulder right there. This is the boulder on the middle, you know, where the technical line is on the left. All right, let's watch it.
Yeah, you're serious. Well, that joke does kind of resemble the question.
And I'm going to be patient with this one. It's really hard to watch any river footage from like this far out where you're just like, holy Toledo. But what we can identify is we can identify this top boulder. We did that. We have the triangle. So just keep looking for this triangle right there. And then know that you're going to drop to the right of it. So this is really good footage. Because it's so far out and it really gives you the idea to set up for this. Now, they are going to kind of drive to the right a little bit. And it works, you know what I mean? Straightforward. But I'm actually going to go right back to that and show you why that might not be the best way to go about Buzz Boner. Alright, and these guys are going to drive left, so that's pretty cool. And maybe get a little... No, they're setting up to drive right. But hell yeah, that was a good line, because who knew you had to be that far... Yeah, because they wanted to get momentum early. I'm going to take a look at that one again. Holy Toledo. So they're already over here, and they're going to get momentum all the way to the right side. So they're going to turn their boat and then drive across. Alright, hell yeah. But that's great beta. And we're going to look at this one more time just because like right here, you know, yeah, you have the current going this way, and it might be real easy to actually get up on this ledge. This is a booth for kayakers. It's like a 4-foot drop over this rock. So if you do have flow over there, it's kind of a fun little booth. But yeah, in a raft, the current might take you over there. So starting this way and then driving across this ledge, hell yeah, that's great beta. Because they get over there fast. Look at that. Alright, hell yeah. So they caught the eddy. And that's it for that one. Oh, but I like I said, I wanted to go back to... All right, holy Toledo. I had to search for that one. Okay, well, but we're back. So we got the triangle rock. This is the first drop of Buzz Boner. And they do paddle with some right to left momentum. That's something that I would do. But look at this first guy. Look at this guy right over here. He's ready to fall out. So this is where, I don't know, I wouldn't angle my boat. Just look how he's going to angle his boat in this right side of this raft. This guy's definitely going to, he's going to hit the brunt of this wave. Yep, and he stays in. You know what I mean? But that is one place where someone could just easily pop out. So that is why I would just run this drop. I would totally run it square. I would go in actually kind of with some slower momentum in a 14-foot raft, take my crew. You know, what I would do is I would I would get right to left momentum. Like the pro line would be, hell yeah, start right to left momentum. But then when you drop in, square up, and then you're going to drop in square, you're going to carry that inertia sideways just a little bit. But it's going to help you so much more to back away from this thing. All right, so that would be my beta for that one. Okay, now we're going to look at a few more.
Why people get all jammed up here on top of this? They always do. One forward.
I love this guide, so I'm just going to not talk, and then you can find all those markers yourself for this one.
One forward. You're going to go right to this triangular rock. After we run this, be ready for an all back. One forward. Two forward. Hold that. Back. Hold that. Keep backing. Stop. One forward. One more. Go forward. Keep going. Go. Come on, Jim. There we go. Nice job. Woo. That's Buzz Boner. Two forward.
All right, I'm going to pause it here. They don't surf, but hell yeah. See how you're already low? Like, as a raft, you're already low in this eddy. And if you paddled across, you got some pretty good current. So it's actually really hard to catch Buzz Boner from the right. In a raft, I would catch it from the left. And we're going to watch, I think we might watch that on this one.
Record one.
I'm just going to pause here. If you were to do that technical line, you would come over here and we're going to watch that. So keep an eye on that of how you'd run that technical. You just run to the left side also. We're going to see some footage of an R2 raft actually drop on the left side of this. You know, they're going to enter through there just so it sets them up a little bit easier. The 14-foot raft, they enter on this right side. And then go, I mean, they basically the left side of this boulder, but they enter on the right side of this boulder pile right there.
Record one.
All right, this is going to be a classic, but I think it's maybe a left-hand.
Record one.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Really right here, I'll call it right forward after I call forward.
Oh, this is perfect. He's going to drop this and then call a right forward, which is just enough to turn the boat instead of calling like a left back right forward, and then it gets them going. And actually, that's all they need. Like calling a right forward gets the nose into, because you just have a very thin current line. If you get any part of your boat to the left side of this current, it kind of grabs it, because this whole thing is just kind of eddy. So that right forward is enough to grab, and then he calls two left forwards. And because that squares him back up, and he just gets around it. This is the most pro move. All right, let's watch it.
Be ready. So, all together, forward two. Go right forward one. Left side forward two now.
All right, so yeah, he totally missed it. But I got to go back here because like right here. Okay, so here is your submerged boulder. You know what I mean? And this is fall flow. This thing, you can't just run your raft over it. You'll bounce, and then you're going to bounce right into this. So just keep... So even though this is like the tightest... You know, this guy's running this line as tight as possible. And I wouldn't do that. For the average person, just hit that wave square and then start turning your boat. By the time you turn it, you'll be past this rock and then back across this current. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. But this guy does a real good job of just textbook. putting his boat. I mean, because if the guide hits this submerged boulder, it's just like billiards. It's going to ricochet you back that way, and then you're actually potentially got something to deal with here. It's going to spin you as well. Pretty much just going to spin you, but also that energy is going to go back that way after you bounce off of it.
Right forward after I call.
So again, I would just drop this nice and square, keep people in the boat, and then back away. Or just turn and then paddle. But all right, let's watch this again because it's just real tight.
The other forward two. Go right forward one.
All right, we got to watch this one more time. See how this wave has see how you have a V wave and you always have like the left side face. So you could always just go up on this left side face. But if you do, you're going to go over that top one and then that second submerged boulder. So you really actually, kind of have to. Yeah, and then the right side of this is real grippy. So even on this, you know what I mean? This right side person might pop out. Let's see how much they get jostled. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing, but it's just keep those things in mind. I mean, if your dial, if you got the dial to crazy like me, you know what I mean? You're kind of looking at all the angles of how you want to do things, and then why things get done a certain way. People don't even probably spend 2 cents, doing this. Well, people find one way to do it and probably just do it and keep doing it that way. All right, let's finish this one out.
Left side forward two now. Forward one.
All right, hell yeah, dropping the left side.
Forward two.
And you don't want to go too strong. Why? Because this is your submerged boulder right here. You don't want to go ramp up on that. You'll get the whole boat stuck, and then people will fall out. And then here's your bud's boner right there. This is the rock right there. So everything behind this is eddy. And then so here's your little window. All right, here we go. We're going to watch that all the way through.
Forward one. Forward two. Right side back one. Oh, back go.
And even though they still surface. This is so good. This left side is so easy to catch buds.
All right, right side forward two.
I mean, huge eddy. Like, look, like all this is even eddy water. This is basically what they caught, and it's good enough. I mean, they're stuck. All the main current is on the right side of buds, which is really hard to catch from the right side.
Let's go forward.
And they get a great surf, so we'll watch that.
Stop. All forward, go. Keep going, get in there. Keep going. Stop. Woo. Back pedal.
Oh, cameraman falls out too. This is great.
Up. Yeah. Woo. Right side forward two.
All right, hell yeah. Yeah, and you got a huge recovery pool. So insignificant is all the way down around this corner. So have some fun in Bud's Boner. Don't mess up the top. It's technical. People die under sieves. Have some fun at the surf wave of Buds. And again, let's take a look at the surf wave of Buds because I mean, essentially, this is just a rock. If this had no water going over it, it's just an eddy. It's just an eddy behind a rock. But you have just enough water going over it to suck a tube in, and it's fun. You know what I mean? So this is like the easiest, kind of fun time to have on the upper Golly. Something fun before insignificant. Get the heebie-jeebies out of you. You know what I mean? So hell yeah. All right, so that's that one. And now we got the technical line. Remember how I said we're going to enter on the left side of this boulder pile. So the 14-foot raft enters on the right side of this. This R2 enters on the left side of this boulder pile right here. Submerged boulders, and this one's sticking up. The main line, there's your triangle rock. The main line is dropping the chute right there. Here's the boulder with all the logs on top of it. Here's the center rock pile, the center square boulder. And then, all right, let's just watch this. And then sleeper rock. Oh, there is a sleeper rock right here. So yeah, we're going to watch the 2 footage. We're going to watch a 14-foot raft go right next to this thing. Just right there. But you got a sleeper rock. This R2 is going to enter right here. And it's going to turn out real good. You mean you do you, but no, that's sleeper rock. This channel isn't a full channel. Sleeper rock is right here.
Oh, you see that little rock that's in the water? Let's go left of that.
Left of that, and then to the right.
And we'll cut right.
All right, but okay, so here is behind the rock, and then here's your channel. This part is death. And then here's the left side marking this channel. So this is the channel you got to drop under. The right side's really undercut, but the main line is just go up against this right side. That's probably the best. They go down the middle, which is good, but there's this kayaker slot. We watch a kayaker go through. It is literally a very technical death sieve that you don't want to mess up even in a kayak. And like I said, if you're going to do this line. Don't be trying to find an easier way through Bud's boner down this left side. I just wouldn't do it. The Gollies just have so many little, especially in a kayak, where you just get stuck for days. And getting stuck in a kayak, you might have water going over your head. And I keep that perspective even with an R1. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to get out of my boat. I didn't like the upper Golly because if you get out of your boat and even like a, shallow, like current over here, if you get stuck, man, it's real foot entrapment city. It's body entrapment if you kind of swim through those little areas. I don't like that aspect of eastern rivers compared to western. All right, let's watch this.
See this triangle form I just talked about?
Yeah.
All right, so here's the kayak death sieve. It's right in here. Or the kayak sieve's right here. I think they drop just to the left. So you have another sleeper marking this outside channel, and they drop to the left side of this. And it's fairly wide. So the kayaks go right through here, and this channel is pretty gnarly. We're going to see some pretty bad footage, but it at least shows you. All right, and then they drop right there. And then you got Bud's boner, and you're already to the left side of it. So if we can identify the things we're going to identify, here is the sleeper ledge. So you're just like, oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, remember how we have Bud's boner in the sleeper ledge? So let's see, they have to go to the right side of that. But that sets you up perfect to eddy into Bud's and do some surfing. So yeah, Bud's is so easy to catch on the left side. River left side of Bud's boner. You know what I mean? That's the pro tip right there. And they have a good time surfing it up. We're gonna pause and then actually go back, because I think you kind of want to see this whole thing just kind of again without me pausing through it. I mean, if you were gonna run it, we have to watch it real time.
Let's drop. Oh, you see that little rock that's in the water? Let's go left of that.
Left of that, and then to the right.
And we'll cut right. Triangle form I just talked about?
Yeah.
All right, we'll watch them catch Buds just to catch it, so you can kind of see how easy it is to catch Buds on the left. It just grips you right in. Hell yeah. Look at that. That's perfect. It's perfect. All right, so we got to move on. Make sure this video is not like an hour long. But all right, so here's that same channel. This is the kayak slot, so we're just gonna watch that. Pretty low quality. Man, that's gnarly. Hey, you gotta just drop through there. I don't know. You know what I mean? So let's watch it again. All right, so here's the kayak slot. Oof, that's just a place maybe to get stuck. All right, so we have a low. No, this is the raft doing that technical line. This is cool. So you can just watch. I'm just gonna maybe not talk through here. It's pretty cool. You already know how to run it, so just pretend. There you go. All right, I'm gonna shut up. Lot of eddy water if you catch this though. Lot of eddy water.
Well done.
All right, hell yeah. And again, they're already set up on the left side, so they're easily gonna surf. Just you know, catch this thing, ain't no thing. Hell, they don't have to do any work. So this is pro guide material. This trip is special because yeah, it's one of the most pro guides in the Golly. You know what I mean? Boat placement skills are just amazing. All right, it gets real foggy, but they have a good surf. People fall out, so let's go back. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh! This is what I wanted to show. So after they drop through here, they're gonna catch this big eddy. You know what I mean? They're actually gonna get behind the eddy of this boulder, and then once you're over here, hell yeah, it's just eddy water. It's basically stop. You could park here for days. Now where is this? You know what I mean? So here is your undercut boulder. So literally, if you catch this eddy water, you can just go back and do that last drop on buds too. So you could do this technical line. Or, you know, this technical left entrance and actually work your way back to the middle. There would be no reason to do that. You might as well drop one of these, you know what I mean, and then line yourself up from buds. But I just wanted to point that out of just like, you know, spatially where you are in the rapid. So, you know what I mean? So here's Bud's boner. Here's this second channel that they're dropping. Here's the eddy that they're in. Here's the entrance, you know, left side of this big boulder pile. They get behind this eddy, and yeah, this eddy is big enough where you can just go over here if you wanted to, and then finish down this to the right side, and even finish to the left side of Bud's. But since you're working your way over here, you know, you're obviously going to run this technical line, and then in a 14-foot boat, probably the simplest thing to do is get right up against this and then drop that slot. All right, which they do. All right, so we got one low water, and then we have the last one is surfing. So we have a low water footage, shows how these rocks really pop out, but it's a little bit slower. And then we have a footage of a raft right here, even eddied out on the far left side. Just they're eddied out right there, and then you know, and then waiting their turn for Bud's boner, because this right side gets so congested. Rafts just have to move on, and it's hard to catch Bud's for the right. So if you're a guide and even you're just popping out through here, obviously take the left. It's easier to catch Bud's, and you're going to entertain your guests more. Or I think there definitely is a possibility you can just, if it's like real busy down here, you can drop really power all the way over here. This boat is just in this eddy right here. So all the eddy in Bud's, if you're going to play on Bud's, is on the left. This right side, yes, you do have this eddy, but you got such strong current, it's actually really hard to catch Bud's on the right. It's not super hard, but it's annoyingly hard. All right, so we're going to watch this low water footage.
Coming up on Bud's boner.
All right, so here's your triangle rock. They kind of just blend in, but there's your triangle. Here's your squarish rock in the middle, and there's your square rock logs on top down the channel. But yeah, really a lot. So even if there's just like a half-foot drop, you know what I mean? I mean just like 500 CFS less. I don't know what this is. You know, it's not 2,800. It's not 3,200, but maybe it's like 2,000 CFS. But just hit it square, and then you got plenty of time. And they just angle their boat, like one stroke, and even just angling your boat was enough to like get them away from that thing. So let's take a look at that again, because it really shows these guard rocks. That's why I like this footage. So here's those guard rocks. So at high flow, you don't want to just be aiming left. You're just going to run into these things. And look, if you run into these, they're either going to spin you, but they're just going to take you that direction, you know, right into that undercut. So, and I'm glad I'm spending so much time on Bud's boner, because it's just one where you're just like, whoa, why did I get messed up? You know what I mean? Well, because you didn't, you know, listen to me talk about this little section for about an hour. Holy Toledo. But hell yeah, so let's watch it one more time, full thing, and see where they go at the bottom. Oh, these guys are going to splat Bud's bone. They're going to hit it.
High side.
Yeah.
High side. I was on the high side.
All right. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I got that on camera. But anyway, yeah, there's no water going over, Buds. So, you know, you ain't surfing. You ain't, see how there's no water going over it? It's an eddy. You can eddy behind it. But all right, so, oh, one more, and then we're going to finish up Bud's boner. So this is on the river left side, you know, looking upstream. Obviously we're on the right side of the screen, but river left side.
Back it up, Packer, back it up. I like it, Packer.
And yeah, they're already over here. Look at this, because there's just no flow over here. It's just a lake of eddy. You know what I mean? So you can just be over here waiting your turn, and it's real easy for them to actually paddle across. So we're gonna get to where, all right, they're gonna make their move, and I'm not gonna fast forward. We're just gonna watch them the whole way. Might as well. Yeah, it's not a lake. It's not a lake, but it gives you an option. You know what I mean? I'd rather eddy out over here. Yeah, they're getting all the way to this rock. Shoot, I shouldn't have paused it, but here we go. We'll see how easy it is for them to get over. It's kind of quite a ways, but it's still way easier to catch Buds on river left. All right, hell yeah. And we're surfing. And it just, a little tube sucks, fills your boat, make sure you stay in. You know, it's kind of an exhausting surf. You got to keep paddling at it. You know, so it's good if you fill your boat. Might as well just get in there sideways. You know what I mean? Just have people make sure to hold on for dear life and high side a little bit. But yeah, I would just fill the boat up sideways, and that's how I'd play in this thing. Hell yeah. See, now they're sideways. Now they're going to have a good time. So they're doing exactly what I was just saying. But hell yeah, now that you're sideways, you know, you can kind of stay in there. And you might get kicked out because it's kind of got strong current on both sides. But it's a pretty fun feature. Don't pass this up unless it's hella busy and you're just like, well, I just need to get on with it. But, yeah, fun little feature. Bud's boner. And hell yeah, now that you got some water in, you can do some front surfs. But anyway, I think I'm done. We're gonna zoom out just so we actually know where the hell we are. You know what I mean? We're on the upper Golly. Bud's boner. See how these rapids are significant? You know, if you're just like, oh, the upper Golly ain't no thing. Well, you know, back on your home stretch, go to Google Earth. I mean, does your rapid look like this? Yeah. And then you're just like, well, does your rapid look like this? Hell no. Look at all that white. You know what I mean? This is insignificant. See, I bet you go to your home stretch and your rapid looks like this. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh yeah, that's significant rapid. You know what I mean? And then Bud's boner. Hell yeah, class 4. That's the difference between, see that? Visually. This is fun. Like visually, class 3. Visually, Bud's boner, class 4. Visually, insignificant. Holy Toledo, class 5. And that's going to be for our next video. And what we were talking about, low flow. Well, yeah, it is kind of a bummer because you have insignificant, you have pillow rock, and then basically you have the Meadow River. So the upper Golly, if we go back, the upper Golly, you have initiation. I mean, you have entrance. Buckle up, right? Initiation. And then just a haul of rapids where you might get lost. Haul of class 3. You're like, where the hell are we? But then find Buds, and then you got insignificant. And then shoot, yeah, you got a couple more. You know, three class 4s in a row. They're pretty decent. You know what I mean? You got S-turn, Screaming S, Pick a Slot, and Iron Curtain. But still, class 3s maybe compared to Pillow Rock. And then even after Pillow, you got Scales. You know what I mean? And then you have Hungry Mother Surf Wave. You have Bubble Rock and then Hungry Mother Surf Wave. You have Meadow River 1, Meadow River 2. And then the Meadow River actually pours in. But what was I talking about? Low flow? Yeah, if the Meadow River has rain coming into it, then they will make sure there's only 32 or 2800 CFS from here down. So if the Meadow River has like an extra 1,000, Meadow River is usually dry, but if it's got 1,000 CFS running into it, well, they're going to reduce the flow from 2,800 to like 2,000. And then, you know, so then you have to run Pillow Rock at a lower flow. You know, that ain't fun. So that is kind of the interesting thing if you do the upper Golly. That's the only, and so yeah, that's great beta, because you're just like, why is the upper part of the river so much lower? You might have to run Pillow Rock at 1,800, you know what I mean? Where you're just like, whoa, this is a boneyard. Pillow Rock is a lot different of a run at lower flow. Compared to higher flow. All these rapids are, you know, in essence. But I think Pillow Rock, so and insignificant, yeah, lower flow, insignificant, that might mess you up. You know, a lot more boulders sticking out. But just keep that as a reference that you might have to run that upper Golly at kind of a lower flow until you get to the Meadow River, because the Meadow River might have a flood event going on, or just you know, 1,000 CFS coming through it. All right. But, so there's Bud's Boner. There's Insignificant. We're making our journey down the upper Golly. Here's the put-in. Summersville Dam. Entrance. Initiation. 1st through 3rd drops. You have Little Z. You have Upper Collison Creek. Which is right here. Lower Collison Creek. Geek Wave. Lower French Kiss. Slant Rock. Bud's Boner. Insignificant. Alright, that's going to do it. That's going to be a video. And next one up is going to be Insignificant. Thanks for joining me. And have a great night.